Late at night, in the pouring rain, an old woman was shivering. Her white hair and soaked shawl clung to her frail body as she stood trembling at the doorstep. Folding her hands together, she cried out, "My son, Rayhan, please, just let me stay in a corner of the house for one night. The cold is unbearable. I feel like I will die in this storm." But the door did not open. From inside, a woman's harsh voice rang out, "You old hag, how many times have I told you you will never enter this house? Your blurry, cursed eyes will ruin the happiness here. Will you leave now, or should I tell Rayhan to kick you so hard you'll fly into the roadside ditch?" Rayhan stood silently inside, unmoved. He was used to his wife's harsh tone, so he said nothing. The old mother, still crying outside in the rain, pleaded again, "Son, don't you ever think how much hardship I endured to raise you? And now you drive your own mother away from her home?" Hearing this, Rayhan's eyes turned red with anger. He shouted, "Mother, I need peace in my house for my wife. But you, always crying, always cursing, always causing problems. Because of you, my wife has no smile on her face. Will you leave now, or must I handle this myself?" The mother froze. She had never imagined hearing such words from her pious, prayerful son. Suddenly, the door swung open. Rayhan appeared before her and barked, "Come on, leave this house." The old mother folded her trembling hands and said softly, "No, my son, I will not go anywhere. I don't have many days left to live. I want to die in this house holding on to the memories of your father." Rayhan's anger flared even more. He shouted, "Then die here." And with those words, he kicked his mother hard in the chest. She was thrown into the muddy courtyard. Her shawl slipped off, her white hair scattered in the rainwater. Writhing in pain, clutching her chest, she cried out, "Oh Allah, where are you? Rayhan, my son, today you have pierced my mother's heart. I will not forgive you. If my tears reach the throne of Allah, then one day you will know what it means to have a mother." At her words, the sky seemed to roar in anger. Lightning flashed and the house trembled. But Rayhan shut the door and went back inside, leaving his mother to stumble away in the storm with trembling feet. Meanwhile, Rayhan's wife Farzana was overjoyed at his actions. Her affection and tenderness for him only grew stronger. But the matter did not end there. The Almighty Allah did not overlook this cruelty. Suddenly, Rayhan's phone rang. The moment he answered, a frantic voice shouted from the other side, "Brother, your shop is on fire! A terrible fire! Everything is burning down!" Rayhan ran like a madman to his shop. When he arrived, everything was gone. The fire had been brought under control, but the damage was immense, hundreds of thousands in losses. The shops around his were safe. Only Rayhan's shop had been completely reduced to ashes. An old shopkeeper nearby muttered under his breath, "I don't know whose curse has fallen upon this boy. Otherwise, why would only his shop burn?" Heavy-hearted, Rayhan returned home. His wife Farzana comforted him. "Rayhan, this is just a test. Be patient. Perhaps your business will rise again as before." Rayhan stayed silent. Not once did he recall the tears of the old mother he had kicked, the mother who had cried out, "Oh Allah, where are you? Rayhan, my son, today you have pierced my mother's heart."
After his shop burned down, Rayhan became almost destitute. Days somehow passed, but on Farzana's face, there was no longer the smile of before. Irritation, quarrels, neglect, everything seemed to have increased. Day by day, their home was filling with bitterness. One night, when Rayhan returned from the mosque after the Asha prayer, he heard Farzana's cruel words cutting into him like a whip. "Your so-called religious business is over. Now what will we eat? Will you feed us by reciting Quran?" Rayhan was stunned. He had always thought this woman would be his companion in paradise, but now she had become his greatest mocker. Rayhan asked, "Do you even know what I have lost?" Farzana scoffed, "I don't know and don't care to know. The only good thing you ever did for me was saving me from your mother's cursed shadow. That was enough for me. But now, what can you even do for me?" Rayhan was speechless. That night, he went alone to the rooftop. Staring at the stars, a single question echoed in his heart. Has my mother truly not forgiven me? It was as if the sky and the wind themselves paused in silence. Days passed into months. One day, Farzana suddenly vomited. After examination, the doctor gave the news. "Congratulations, your wife is 3 months pregnant." Tears of joy filled Rehan's eyes. He thought, perhaps this is Allah's mercy. After the fire, maybe now comes the rain. But no, the child never saw the light of day. At 7 months, the baby died in the womb. Farzana herself developed serious complications, forcing the doctors to perform surgery. Then, the doctor informed Rehan, "Your wife will never be able to bear a child again." The words turned Rehan into stone. Lying in the hospital bed, Farzana whispered, "I am a failure, Rehan. I have lost everything." Rehan rushed to the washroom. Looking into the mirror, he cried out, "Oh Allah, I prayed, I fasted. What was my crime?" From deep within his soul came a voice, faint yet piercing. "Rehan, was it not a crime when you kicked your mother?" A mother's tears may take time to reach the throne of Allah, but once they do, they return as thunder. Later, Rehan mortgaged his last asset, their house, and started a small business with the help of a friend. Within months, it began to grow little by little. But one morning, when he returned from the market with goods, he found 2 policemen standing at his door. They said, "There are complaints against you, fake documents, tax evasion, fraud, many charges." Rehan collapsed. Such a heavy accusation. He had no knowledge of any of it. He had only trusted his friend's words. He was taken to the police station. Although released 2 days later, his social honor was shattered. At the mosque, when he went to pray, people whispered behind him, "There he is, the son who drove his mother out and now even went to jail." For the first time, Rehan could no longer hold back his tears. He wept, a deep, heart-rending cry. That night, he sat by Farzana and asked, "Farzana, tell me, am I truly a sinner?" She fell silent. After a long pause, she said softly, "If your mother were alive, perhaps you would not be facing all this." Her words struck Rehan like lightning. He stood up and declared, "I will find my mother, wherever she is. I will find her. I will beg for her forgiveness. I want to become her son again." That night, Rehan prostrated on the ground, weeping until his face was swollen. His lips kept whispering, "Oh Allah, I am a great sinner. I prayed, I fasted, but no worship was accepted because I hurt my mother. I don't even know if she is alive. Oh Allah, return my mother to me. I will fall at her feet and beg forgiveness. I will seek paradise beneath her feet. I will sin no more, O Allah." The next morning, carrying only 2 sets of clothes, Rehan set out. He first went to his native village, asking tearfully among old acquaintances of his mother, "Did my mother come here? Does anyone know?" But no one knew. Some even rebuked him. "Aren't you the son who drove his mother out?" Rehan hung his head and held back his tears. For 3 nights, he stayed in mosques. He fasted. He recited Quran. He repented. Then he walked towards a saint's shrine because someone had told him that months ago an old woman had begged there. At the shrine, a man told him, "Yes, such a woman came here, very thin, a broken voice. One day she caught fever from rain and cold. Then someone took her away." Rehan asked desperately, "Do you know who took her?" "No, my son. Someone who claimed she was his mother, but he did not look like you." Rehan sank to the ground. Day by day, Rehan withered away, until one day, he collapsed unconscious on the roadside. A caretaker from a mosque lifted him up, gave him water, and asked, "Who are you?" Rehan replied, "I am a sinner who has lost his mother." The caretaker said gently, "If Allah wills, your mother will forgive you. Just do not stop weeping, for in this world, no one forgives like a mother does."
Meanwhile, an elderly woman had been admitted to a hospital. She was nearly 80 with no guardian by her side. She gave her name as Asya Khatun, but sometimes in her sleep, she would murmur, "Rehan, my Rehan, that kick didn't hurt me, son, but I don't want to die without seeing your face one last time." One of the elder men at the hospital, who happened to know Rehan, called him and said, "Brother, we've found your mother. Come quickly." At once, Raihan ran to the hospital, his face lit with hope. On the small hospital bed, with an oxygen mask over her mouth and weary eyes, lay the very mother he had once kicked to the ground. His pride and joy turned to shame. Raihan burst into tears and fell at her feet, crying, "Mother, I beg you, I was wrong. Please forgive me. Just say the words, 'I forgive you, Raihan.'" The mother raised her eyes, her trembling voice whispering, "Don't cry, my son. Your tears have washed away all my pain. Just a little of your love gives me peace. You came to me. That alone gives me comfort before I die." Hearing this, Raihan bent down and kissed her feet. Under those feet, he found peace, forgiveness, and Allah's mercy. That night, Raihan fell asleep at his mother's bedside, his tears wetting the sheets. At dawn, when the Fajr Adhan echoed, Raihan opened his eyes to find his mother awake, smiling faintly. She said, "You haven't changed at all, Raihan. You're still the little boy who used to wake up at night and wrap his arms around my neck to sleep. You're still that same boy." Raihan lowered his head and whispered, "No, mother, I have changed. Now I understand. Without you, life is only darkness." The mother stroked his head, and with that touch, Raihan felt as though he had touched paradise itself. Raihan paid the hospital bills and personally took his mother home, covering all her medical expenses. After nearly 2 months of treatment, she regained her health. And so Raihan returned home with his mother. For the first time in many years, the sound of an elderly woman's footsteps once again echoed in Raihan's courtyard. This was the very house from which she had once left in tears. Now she returned to a bed adorned with flowers, a home filled with fragrance, and the loving touch of her son's head beneath her feet. Raihan's wife, Farzana, sat at her mother-in-law's feet, her head bowed, and said, "Mother, I was wrong. Please forgive me." The mother paused for a moment, then said gently, "If you are truly repentant, then I forgive you, because my paradise lies within this very household of yours." From that day on, Farzana completely changed. She herself took care of the mother's medicine, food, and clothing. Gradually, Allah restored the happiness of their family. Dear viewers, a mother never cries from hardship. She only cries when her own child turns away and denies her. And if such tears reach the throne of Allah, then no one in this world can save that child. So long as you have time, return to your mother, hold her hands, ask for forgiveness, because as long as she lives, the door of return remains open. But once she is gone, that chance will never come again. Dear friends, if you liked this video, please give it a like, and in the comment box write, "I love you, mother." Stay well, everyone. May Allah protect you.